James Summers Morning Blend. Ever wondering how you're going to meet people during the pandemic? Get dating advice today from Dr. Ish Major, relationship advisor for WeTV's hit series, Love After Lockup. Good morning, Dr. Ish. How are you?
Good morning, James. I'm well, my friend. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I have an interesting question for you. So, why do women or even men fall for prisoners?
Well, James, look, if you've ever been in a relationship and you've been lied to, you've been cheated on, you felt like you somehow lost control of that relationship, prison solves a lot of questions for you, right? Because you don't have to ask those questions anymore. Where were you last night at 10 o'clock? Oh, wait, I know. You were in jail, right? So there's a lot of constraints that prison can put in place that you can't put on them in the real world. So there's some safety there.
So, what makes bad boys so appealing?
In this case, also bad girl type thing, right? If I can tame them, if I can be the one, yeah, I know they've lied to a million other people, and I know they've tricked a lot of people in relationships, but if I can show up and they don't trick me, then that means I'm special. And in a relationship, if somebody can let you know why they need you and make you feel special, you're going to be with that person a long time.
Well, that's interesting. So, what are unique challenges of this type of relationship?
Say again.
What are the unique challenges of this type of
Well,
relationship?
Well, you've got to understand, right? They're not in jail because they knew how to do life well, right? So when these folks get out, yeah, right? They're, they are not going to be your ideal partner, right? They got to grow into it. So patience is a huge key. And also in this one now, there's an extra level of expectation, right? Because I've held you down while you were in jail. I kept money on your commissary card. Now these are the asks that I have for you when you get out. And oh, by the way, there's an underlying sentiment of you owe me. So those are some huge challenges once they get out.
You know what? I saw some of the trailers and I have to agree with you. I was like, how can you do that? There's no way. I was like, come on now, where's your common sense? So, speaking of that, is it possible for a relationship with a prisoner be successful?
It really is, man, because I don't care who you are, ex-con, non-con, we all want the same things in a relationship, right? We all are here for the love and the connection and the belonging. And so, how in some ways it's a little bit easier because there's no mystery here, right? I know why you're here. I know why you want me. I know what it is you need from me, right? And vice versa. So they're very clear about communicating their needs and wants to each other, which is one of the things that we don't do out here in the real world, so to speak. And so in some ways, they've got it a little bit better because there is no pretense about why we need each other. They speak those things to each other very clearly. And if you can communicate that, that puts you a little bit farther ahead of the curve. Now, the other question is, oh yeah, by the way, are they really trying to trick me? Well, time will tell. We'll figure that out by and by.
You got me chuckling here. You know, I was looking at some of these relationships and I was wondering, is it possible that they can have successful relationships? Now, have you seen any successful relationships with previous couples from the show?
It really has, man. One of my favorite couples from the prior season was Brittany and Marcelino, right? They were 100% open and honest with each other as soon as she got out. They got out, they got together, it worked. The thing that was separate and set them apart was that they were always honest with each other. Brittany was the ex-con, if you're going to use that term, but she was always 100% honest about what she was feeling. And Marcelino just adjusted his game every time there was an issue. And so they made it. I met them in person. We did a couple of things together. And I love them together as a couple because they really dig each other and they dig each other enough to work towards making each other happy and working around those misunderstandings because they always tell each other exactly what it is they're feeling. So that was a cool success story. I love to see them together.
So let's go beyond love after lockup. Let's talk about people that are already out here in society, you know, walking up and down the street, going to clubs, at work, or just by chance meeting somebody. What advice would you give them to make sure they have a good relationship?
I think you've got to not be afraid to ask for what it is you need and want, right? You know, a lot of us, you know, we meet somebody new and we think that there's somebody we've got to be, right? We have this image in our mind of what somebody like that may be looking for, and we naturally try to fit ourselves into that box. And you don't have to do that. Matter of fact, that's taking you further away from actually being happy. The sooner you can meet them and be transparent, right? I'm not saying put it all on the table on day one, but the least that you have to hide, the better, right? Because in a relationship, what do we all want? We want three things. We want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be understood. And as soon as you can feel like you are vulnerable enough to let this person see all of you, and then they can make an informed decision. Are they going to check the box or not? Are they opting in or not? And that's what you want. So the quicker you can be brave enough to be vulnerable and let them see who you are, all the better.
Wow, that sounds interesting. Dr. Ishmael, we're going to make sure we keep watching your TV series, WeTV's hit series, Love After Lockup. And based on what I've seen, it's some fireworks in there.
Oh, it's a doozy, man. This Friday, October 9th, 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on WeTV. Make sure you check it out. It's going to quickly become your go-to guilty pleasure of the week.
Uh, and I believe it too. Thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend, Dr. Ishmael.
Thanks, James.